I've spoken with Dynamic Labs. Santino is demanding to be the exclusive supplier of the sap. He claims he can deliver a much greater quantity than we can. I think I've convinced them for old time's sake and their own security that they'd be better off with 2 suppliers, but we can forget about any past arrangements. Perhaps you might want to take one of my 4 trusted native assistants out with you today. He might be some help as a guide. That was a fine piece of work. There's good and bad news. The good news is my connections at Dynamic made sure that Santino didn't get total control of the sap supply. The bad news is the price they're willing to pay has dropped by $100. They said if things change, they might reevaluate their position. I paid you good money to fight this fight, not to be a spectator. You went out there today with nobody. Absolutely nobody. Brenda didn't return from her lab last night. It's not like her to stray off, especially not under these conditions. I knew I shouldn't have let her go back to work. I told her it was too dangerous. You have to drop everything and find her immediately. I can't thank you enough for rescuing my daughter. This is the best day of my life. I'm giving you a $15,000 reward in addition to my eternal gratitude.
I'm on my way. Yes, I work for you.
I've heard from Dynamic Labs again. They still aren't satisfied with the quantity we've been supplying and are dropping the price $20 per tree. For his own reasons, Lucas is driving the price down. And until we increase our quantity of processed sap, Lucas is in control, and we're at his mercy. That was a fine piece of work. The processing plant we managed to take today unfortunately has been sabotaged. It could take my men a couple of days to get it up and running. If you're interested, I could make a native available to you today. Your team really pulled it together today! The men finished repairing the sabotaged plant this morning. With this new plant up and running, we're able to process the sap from 80 trees. I have reports about enemy activity around the processing plant in Sector 54. You might want to keep an eye out. We can't afford to lose it.
Some of the fallow trees are infected with a deadly virus. If we're not able to stop it soon, it will spread and eventually destroy all the trees. We've seen this virus before. I was able to create an antidote from the roots of the Pamelia flower. Hopefully Lucas hasn't found what remains of it.
You better warn the team. It looks like it's going to be an extremely hot day. That was a fine piece of work. The natives have dead to bury, and they're becoming extremely anxious about not having access to their burial ground in Sector 6. They've been very good to us over the years, and securing that sector would go a long way in winning their favor. The virus is spreading out of control, and we have to do something immediately. A couple more days and we could lose every tree. You really used your head out there today. Better to sacrifice a few trees than lose all of them. The virus shouldn't be a problem anymore. The natives are grateful. They can now bury their dead knowing that their sacred piece of land is in safe hands.